Example, I have here a problem for regarding Sky Cable. I hope you are familiar with Sky Cable. So we have Harvey, which is the chief accountant of Sky Cable, and he wants to know the collection efficiency of the company. Know how efficient yung collection ng Sky Cable as a whole, and he was able to determine the actual collection and aging schedule of accounts receivables for the month of January and February. By the way, guys, when we say account receivables in accounting term, no, account receivables are the funds na to be received by the firm. No, wala pa sa firm pero ina-expect nila na ma-receive nila ito at a specific or at a certain time. No, that is accounts receivable. Now, in the amount in the month of January, rather, $300 was paid by clients, $100 was declared bad debt for being more than 3 months overdue, $400 was overdue less than 1 month, and $200 was 1 to 3 months overdue. The 300 paid in January is by default is still paid the next month. The $100 bad debt in January is also by default a bad debt the next month. Of the $400, which was less than 1 month overdue in January, 200 is paid, $80 is still less than 1 month overdue, and 480 is already 1 to 3 months overdue. This is $480 the next month. Of the $200, which was 1 to 3 months overdue in January, 80 is paid, $20 is already a bad debt, and $100 is still 1 to 3 months overdue the next month. Figures are summarized in the table on the next slide. Question is, how much is paid in the end? How much is the bad debt? Hello everyone, so welcome to our third and last model under the Markov theory, which is all about the absorbing state model. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a visualization here regarding the absorbing state model. So dito po iikot ang ating usapan for this topic, no? So let's start our discussion. But model number 3, absorbing state model. When we say absorbing state model, this is actually a process where there is no choice as to what state one can go. No, hindi ito tulad ng mga equilibrium conditions model na pwedeng magpalipat-lipat. No, we are having a probability, then pwedeng magpalipat-lipat from one state to another. Dito sa absorbing state model, wala siyang choice no kung saan siya pupuntang state. No, it once na absorb na, then doon na siya, okay na siya doon. Okay? Now, this is best presented in the aging process of accounts. So, paanong aging process of accounts? Let's have an example here. So, for our example, I have here a problem for regarding Sky Cable. I hope you are familiar with Sky Cable. So, we have Harvey, which is the chief accountant of Sky Cable, and he wants to know the collection efficiency of the company. Know how efficient yung collection ng Sky Cable as a whole, and he was able to determine the actual collection and aging schedule of accounts receivables for the month of January and February. By the way, guys, when we say account receivables in accounting term, no, account receivables are the funds na to be received by the firm. No, wala pa sa firm pero ina-expect nila na ma-receive nila ito at a specific or at a certain time. No, that is accounts receivable. Now, in the month of January, rather, $300 was paid by clients, $100 was declared bad debt for being more than 3 months overdue, $400 was overdue less than 1 month, and $200 was 1 to 3 months overdue. The 300 paid in January is by default is still paid the next month. The $100 bad debt in January is also by default a bad debt the next month. Of the $400, which was less than 1 month overdue in January, $200 is paid, $80 is still less than 1 month overdue, and $480 is already 1 to 3 months overdue. This is $480 the next month. Of the $200, which was 1 to 3 months overdue in January, $80 is paid, $20 is already a bad debt, and $100 is still 1 to 3 months overdue the next month. Figures are summarized in the table on the next slide. Question is, how much is paid in the end? How much is the bad debt? No, gaano kalaki yung mababayaran if ever sa dulo? No, and gaano kalaki naman yung hindi na mababayaran? That is the bad debt. When we say bad debt, no, more than 3 months, yun yung considerations nila. More than 3 months na wala pa rin. Okay. Now, here is the summary of the accounts ng mga nabigkas doon sa ating problem. So, we have here, January, ulitin ko lang, no, even ito na yung nakalagay sa problem. January, 300 yung paid. Bad debt, ito yung mga lumagpas na po ng 3 buwan, no, hindi pa rin nare-received. $100 yan. 400 yung less than 1 month. Ano po itong less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months? Ito yung overdue. No, so wala pa less than 1 month na siyang overdue, lagpas na ng 1 month pero hindi pa naman lumalagpas ng another 1 month pa. I hope na I hope na kanyo. Paano ba? Lagpas na ng deadline, lagpas na ng due date, pero hindi pa abot ng 1 month. Okay, less than 1 month. Kapag 1 to 3 months, so ayun siya, 1 to 3 months overdue, that is 200. All in all, total niya is 1,000. So for the next month, ito po yung nangyari. No, we have here from, tapos to. Almost the same siya ng mga tables natin with our equilibrium conditions model and of course, yung second one, which is the Gauss-Jordan method. So we have here paid. No, since this is paid na po, no, hindi na siya pwedeng lumipat sa bad debt and sa less than 1 month and of course sa 1 to 3 months. Wala na zero na yan. Paid na kasi eh. No, wala na silang i-receive. That's why on the next month, it is 300, 0, 0, and 0. Total of 300. Now, for the bad debt naman po, 100 pa rin siya. Retained, then 0, 0, 0. Etong bad debt po, hindi na siya nababago eh. Kasi lagpas 3 months na. So, parang, ito yung mga receivables na hindi na nila ina-expect dahil sobra-sobra na, overdue na. Ito namang less than 1 month, as you can see, yung less than 1 month natin and yung 1 to 3 months natin is actually, ito yung pwede pang magkaroon ng changes. Dahil kung titignan ninyo, yung less than 1 month on the month of January, which is $400, yung less than 1 month naman, pagdating sa next month na, nabayaran na yung $240. No, kasi overdue siya, pero less than 1 month pa rin. Pwede pa rin silang mabayaran, no? It is paid na, $240. Then, ang naiwan na lang na less than 1 month is 80. Pero, merong mas tumagal. Dahil, di ba, lumilipat kasi yung panahon eh. No, nag-a-adjust yung time natin. So, may naiwan na $80. Mas tumagal ito yung due niya, overdue niya, 1 to 3 months. Same with this one, 1 to 3 months po. So, doon sa 200 ng 1 to 3 months, sa $200, 80 doon ay na-paid na. Okay? 20 is bad debt na siya. Lumagpas na. Since this is, yung 200 na to, 1 to 3 months yan. So, since nag-move tayo ng 1 month, pwedeng yung $20 dyan. Ito na yon. No, lumagpas na siya ng 3 months. Under na siya ng bad debt. And, for the less than 1 month, 80. And yung retain, we have 180. Less than 1 month is 0. And yung retain sa 1 to 3 months is 100. Total of 200. And total nila, lahat is 1,000. Okay? Now, what we will going to do now is to first, of course, to set up the matrix of transition. Tulad ng mga ginagawa natin before with equilibrium conditions model and the Gauss-Jordan method. Now, how to set the matrix of transition? Of course, first is we should compute the percentage share or the M sub J of each state. Now, I hope naalala nyo pa na kino-consider natin lagi na J ang ating mga columns and I ang ating mga rows. Okay? Now, percentage daw. So, for M sub 1, paid accounts over total accounts. Nasaan po yun? Ito. No, 300 over 1,000. This is our total. So, we have here 300 over 1,000. And this is equivalent to the value of 0.3. Okay, 0.3 siya. Dahil 300 divided by 1,000 is 0.3 naman talaga. So, next tayo, for the M sub 2, that is the bad debts. Okay, so for the bad debts over total accounts, let's see here sa ating table kung anong value. We have 100 over 1,000. So, 100 over 1,000 is equivalent to 0.1 or 0.10. Next, for M sub 3, we have less than 1 month over total account. So, less than 1 month is 400 divided by 1,000. So, 400 divided by 1,000 is equivalent to 0.4. Okay? Next, we have here 200 divided by 1,000. That is for 1 to 3 months. Ayun yung formula niya. No, 1 to 3 months over total accounts. Again, the value is 200 divided by 1,000. And this is equivalent to 0.2. No, and ito po yung ilalagay natin sa ating table, which is the transition matrix. No, ilagay natin doon. Anong na-compute natin for the value ng mga percentage share? 0.3 or 0.30, 0.10, natin 2 decimal, no? 0.10, 0.40, and 0.20. So, let's write it here sa ating transition matrix. 0.430. Oops, i-delete na lang natin para hindi siya pangit tignan. Okay, so 0.30 for the bad debt, 0.10, 0.40, and 0.20. So, of course, total neto is 1. This is our transition matrix, guys. Lahat ng computations na makukuha natin dito sa area na to will be included here sa table po na to. So, dito, more on probabilities na tayo, and we have here January of the pi of 0. Again, pi here is state probabilities, na hindi yung pi sa circle. This is just a representation. So, trans matrix dito natin lalagay. Ito yung gagamitin natin mamaya, no, for our further analysis. For now, let's move on sa next na part ng ating pagsiset ng matrix of transition, which is, the second one is the compute the transition matrix na, yung mga mismong probabilities na nila. Okay? So, let's have our P sub 1, 1, that is from paid to paid over paid in January. Nasaan po yun? From paid to paid, this is 1 to 1. Ito, and over daw sa paid in January, which is 300. Ito. No, so, 300 divided by 300. Ayun yung sinasabi niya, no? So, 300 divided by 300 is equivalent to 1, of course. Okay, now, P sub 1 and 2 from paid to bad over paid in January. 1 and 2, ito po. From paid to bad, ito, divided by paid in January. 0 divided by 300. So, let's have it here. 0 divided by 300. This is equivalent to 0. So, next, P sub 1, 3. So, P sub 1, 3, ito siya. 0 divided by daw sa paid in January. So, lagay natin dito. Paid in January is this one, 300. So, pare-pareho sila, no? 0 over 300. This is for the from paid to less than 1 month. This is equivalent to 0. Okay, so, next, P sub 1, 4. This is 4. No? This is 4. From paid to 1 to 3 months. Nasaan po yun? From paid to 1 to 3 months. From 1 to 4. That is 0 divided by paid in January, which is 300. So, ulit-ulit tayo. 0 over 300 is equivalent to 0. Okay? So, ilagay natin yun, no? Yung mga values na yun. 1, 0, 0, and 0. And that is for our transition matrix. So, let's have it here. 1, 0, 0, and 0. Of course, ang total po nila is 1. Ayan. I hope nakakasunod pa kayo, no? Napakadali pa lang naman ang ating usapan. Next, ang next natin is, of course, sa P sub 2, 1 naman po tayo. From bad to paid over bad in January. From bad to paid, ito, over bad in January. Ito, 0 over 100. So, 0 over 100 is equivalent to 0, of course. Next natin is the P sub 2 and 2, no? From bad to bad over bad in January. So, from bad to bad, which is 100, over bad in January. So, 100 over 100. 100 over 100, this is equivalent to 1. Okay? Next, next po natin is P sub 2 and 3, from bad to less than 1 month. So, we have here from bad to less than 1 month. Ito, over, ang denominator niya is the bad in January. Ano po yun? Ito pa rin. No? So, 0 over 100. So, let's have it here. 0 over 100 equivalent to 0. Next, P sub 2, 4. So, P sub 2, 4 naman tayo. From bad to 1 to 3 months. So, from bad to 1 to 3 months. 0 over bad in January, 100. So, 0 over 100, then this is equivalent to 0. So, let's write it here sa ating transition matrix. 0, 1, 0, and 0. So, 0, 1, 0, and 0. Total of 1. Okay, that is for our second part or second row under the transition matrix. Next, for the next part ng ating computation, P sub 3, 1 naman tayo. P sub 3, 1 is from less than 1 month to paid. Nasaan po yun? Less than 1 month to paid. Ito, 240 over less than 1 month in January. Less than 1 month in January. Ito, 400. So, 240 over 400. Okay? So, 240 over 100, this is equivalent to 0.6. 240 over 400 rather. 0.6. Okay, next. P sub 3, 2 from less than 1 month to bad over less than 1 month in January. So, from less than 1 month to bad, that is 0 over, denominator niya again is less than 1 month in January. So, less than 1 month is 400. So, 0 over 400. So, 0 over 400. This is equivalent to 0. Okay? Next. Next natin is P sub 3, 3 from less than 1 month to less than 1 month over less than 1 month in January. So, from less than 1 month to less than 1 month, that is 3, that is 80, over less than 1 month in January. Ito po, 400. So, 80 over 400. So, 80 over 400, this is equivalent to 0.20. Okay? So, next natin, we have P sub 3, 4. So, P sub 3 and 4, this is 80. No, 3 and 4. 80 over less than 1 month in January. Ito pa rin. No? So, 80 over 400 pa rin siya. Same sila. 80 over 400, this is equivalent to 0.2. Okay? So, 0.6, 0, 0.20, and 0.20. Let's write it sa ating transition matrix. 0.6, 0, 0.20, and 0.20. Equivalent niya, total nila is 1. Okay? So, last one natin, ating last row for our transition matrix. P sub 4, 1. From 1 to to 3 months to paid over 1 to 3 months in January. Nasaan po yun? From 1 to 3 months to paid for 1, this is for 80. Over 1 to 3 months in January. Nasaan yun? Ito, 200. So, 80 divided by 200. So, let's have it here. 80 divided by 200. This is equivalent, guys, to 0.40. So, next we have P sub 42. Ano yung 42? From 1 to 3 months to bad over 1 to 3 months in January. So, from 1 to 3 months to bad, that is 20 over 1 to 3 months in January, which is 200. So, 20 over 200. Let's write it here. 20 over 200. This is equivalent to 0.10. Okay, next. P sub 43. This is from 1 to 3 months to less than 1 month over 1 to 3 months in January. So, nasaan po siya? Ito siya. From 1 to 3 months to less than 1 month, that is 0, divided by 1 to 3 months in January, which is 200. So, 0 over 200. Lagay natin dito. 0 over 200. This is equivalent to 0. Okay, so next. P sub 44. From 1 to 3 months to 1 to 3 months over 1 to 3 months in January. Again, 1 to 3 months to 1 to 3 months over 1 to 3 months in January. Nasaan po yan? 1 to 3 months to 1 to 3 months. 4. That is 100. Over 1 to 3 months in January. Over 200. So, 100 over 200 is equivalent to 0.5. Of course, kalahati yan, 50%. So, 0.4, 0.1, 0, and 0.5. So, let's have it here. 0.4, 0.1, 0, nasa gilid pa siya, and 0.5. Burahin natin yung isa. Kawawa naman siya, nasa gilid lang. Ayan. Okay. So, let's have our total now. Ito, 1. Now, ito na po ang ating transition matrix. What should we do now is, of course, i-ano din natin siya tulad ng ginawa natin sa equilibrium conditions model and sa ating Gauss-Jordan method. It can actually be represented by this type of visualization. Now, we have paid, bad, less than 1 month, 1 to 3 months. I-visualize lang din natin siya. So, pinakauna, of course, we have this. No, sabi niya, paid to paid, that is 1. Ayun, lagay natin 1. Guhitan ko sa baba para malaman natin na nandoon na siya sa visualization natin. No? So, we have here 1. So, since ito is 0, paid going to bad, paid going to less than 1 month, and paid going to 1 to 3 months are all 0. So, wala siyang mga connections papunta dyan. Okay? Pero pwedeng pabalik. Papunta sa kanya, meron. Pero yung sa kanya, papalabas, ayun po yung wala. Dahil paid na nga siya, na-absorb na. That's why tinatawag siya na absorbing state. Kumbaga, once na lahat sila is nag-fall sa paid, okay na yon, absorbed na yon. No, ganun din sa bad. No, pag nandoon sila sa bad na, absorbed na yon, absorbing state tayo. So, next, 0. Bad to paid, wala din silang connection. Ito, meron. Bad to bad, which is 1. No, 100%. Ayan, pwede yan. Dahil 100% chance na yung bad last month is of course, bad pa rin siya this month. Bad debt pa rin siya. Same with the paid. Yung mga nabayaran na last month, hindi naman pwedeng biglang hindi na siya nabayaran next month, di ba? Paid pa rin siya ngayong buwan, sa susunod na buwan. Kaya, yung mga values, yung mga amount na nabayaran na last month is of course 100% na bayad pa rin siya ngayong buwan na. Hindi naman mababalik yon. Diba? Walang ganon. So, next. Ayan. 1 siya dito and 0 po dito. 0 and 0 dahil once na bad na siya, ito po kasi yung mga over 3 months na. So, meaning, hindi na siya pwedeng umander ng less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months dahil yung bad, ang category niya is over 3 months. So, 0 and 0 na siya dyan. Okay? So, less than 1 month to paid, 0.6 na probability. Less than 1 month to paid. Ito, less than 1 month to paid. This is 0.6. So, next is 0. Itong less than 1 month to bad. Next, less than 1 month to less than 1 month. 0.20. Ito sa sarili niya. No, 0.20. Next, less than 1 month to 1 to 3 months. Less than 1 month to 1 to 3 months. Pag ganun yung arrow, so that is, anong percentage? 0.20 rin. So, 0.20. Ayan. So, next natin, we have 1 to 3 months to paid, 0.4. So, 1 to 3 months to paid, that is 0.4. Okay. And next natin, we have 1 to 3 months to bad, 0.1. 1 to 3 months to bad, paakyat ang ating arrow. That is equivalent to 1 to 3 months to bad, 0.1. Okay, next. 1 to 3 months to less than 1 month, wala siya, 0. 1 to 3 months to 1 to 3 months, that is 0.5. So, sa sarili niya, no, we have here 0.5. So, this is how we visualize the transition matrix. Ganito yung itsura, yung nangyayari sa kanila. No? So, next na gagawin na natin is, of course, to set up the partitioned matrix of transition. So, when we say partitioned matrix of transition, nagkakaroon na tayo ng partitioning, no, sa ating table. So, paano po ang mangyayari? For the first part, no, the upper left quadrant, which is considered natin as quadrant 1, is the identity matrix. Ito po ang ating partition matrix of transition. Ito yung tinutukoy, no? Quadrant 1, identity matrix, that is represented by letter I. So, next natin, the upper right quadrant, that is the quadrant 2. Guys, take note, magkaiba talaga sila. Sa right talaga si 2, sa left si 1. Unlike sa Cartesian coordinate plane, baka kasi malito kayo. No? So, the upper right quadrant is considered as the quadrant 2. That is the zero matrix. No? So, ito po siya. Ito. Nagpa-partitioning po tayo, ha? Ayan. Next, for the third one, the lower left quadrant, which is the quadrant 3, is matrix A. So, ito, lower left, matrix A. Next is the lower right quadrant or the Q4 is the matrix B. Ayan. So, ito na ang ating partitioned na matrix. So, anong next na gagawin natin? Next na gagawin natin is to set up the fundamental matrix. Now, what is this fundamental matrix? First, now we need to compute for the difference between matrix I and matrix B. No, ano ba yung matrix I and matrix B? Check natin dito. No, matrix I and matrix B kasi wala pang laman. So, we need to have our input muna dito sa ating partitioned matrix. Saan po manggagaling? Doon sa ating transition matrix. So, since quadrant 1 ito, that is letter I, identity matrix, I hope you still remember the identity. Meron siyang 1, no, sa major na diagonal line niya. So, if meron siyang 1 doon, kung papansinin ninyo, ito na po yun. No, ito yung identity matrix natin. Dahil may 1 siya pa diagonal, oh. Ayun. Tapos the rest is 0. So, let's have it here. 1, 1, 0, and 0. So, for the 0 na matrix, that is the quadrant 2, bakit siya 0? Dahil kung titingnan nyo, lahat na nandito is 0. Wala na po kasi pwedeng mag-fall from paid accounts na magiging less than 1 to 3, 1 month overdue siya or 1 to 3 months overdue. Walang ganon. Or yung mga bad accounts na or bad debts na siya, tapos biglang naging less than 1 month overdue and 1 to 3 months overdue. Ang definition nga ng bad debts is yung mga utang, mga receivables nila, nalagpas na ng 3 months. So, meaning to say, 0 na siya lahat dyan. So, lagay natin dito, 0, 0, 0, and 0. For the quadrant 3, ito may mga values po. And what we will going to do is just to copy. No, copy natin ito. 0.6, 0, 0.4, and 0.1. So, 0.6, 0, 0.4, and 0.1. And next natin, 0.2, 0.2, 0, and 0.5. So, 0.2, 0.2, 0, and 0.5. Okay, that is for our quadrant 4. Now, we can proceed na in setting up our fundamental matrix, no? Pwede na tayo mag-proceed dyan. And sabi dito, we should compute the difference between matrix I and matrix B. As you can see, nasaan ang matrix I natin? Ito po, no, and the matrix B. Ito ang ating matrix B. So, pag na-compute natin yung difference niyan, ilalagay naman natin sila sa ating fundamental matrix. This is now the fundamental matrix. This fundamental matrix, guys, ang idea dito is we have divided the whole table sa difference and yung inverse. Kaya po dito we have I minus B. We have I minus B raised to negative 1 for the inverse function. Now, for the difference, ang positioning natin ng mga variables are A, B, C, D. Okay? So, ayan muna for the difference. Anong gagawin na natin? Compute the difference between matrix I and matrix B. So, compute natin ang magiging value ng A natin, which is, kung titingnan po natin sa ating table, that is, eto, no? That is 1 minus 0.2. Okay, so 1 minus 0.2, this is equivalent to 0.8. So, let's write it here. 0.8 value sa ating fundamental matrix, no? 0.8. Ayun. So, ito ang A. Ayan. Ito guide lang yan. Nasa taas, guide lang yan. Okay? So, next na gagawin natin is for the B. Nasaan po ang B? No? Nasaan nakapwesto ang B sa ating fundamental matrix? Nandito, sa bandang taas. So, B. That is 0 minus 0.2. Okay? So, lagay natin dito, 0 minus 0.2. Of course, this will be negative 0.2. So, next, we need to compute for the C and D naman. Okay, for letter C, nasaan siya nakalagay? Ito yung C natin. Lower left. Okay, so C is 0 minus 0. Okay, so 0 minus 0. So, basically, this will be 0. Ilagay natin siya dito. Uy, hindi natin nalagay yung B, no? Lagay natin 0.2. Dito po ang B, 0.2. So, next natin is for the D. Now, for the D, we have 1 minus 0.5. So, 1 minus 0.5, that is 0.5. So, lagay natin sa ating fundamental matrix, 0.5. So, we are now done with the difference side of our fundamental matrix. Next naman natin is for the inverse. Okay, for the inverse po, we need to have the value of R, no? Ayun yung next kasi natin. So, compute muna natin yung R before yung inverse. Now, ano tong R na tinutukoy? R actually describes the probability of transitioning from some transient state to some absorbing state. Ano naman tong transient tsaka absorbing? Kasi una, nagtatrans pa rin tayo di ba? We have matrix of transition. Ang gagawin natin, papunta po tayo sa absorbing state of the Markov chain. Now, when we say transient state, this is a system. No, a system is in transient state when a process variable or variables have been changed and the system has not yet reached a steady state. No, nag-change pa lang siya. No, papunta sa steady state pero hindi pa siya totally steady state. Transient state nga no, magkaiba 'yon. Now, for the absorbing state, a state that once entered cannot be left. Okay, so parang ito yung mga funds na na-collect na nila, 'di ba? Accounts receivable ang pinag-uusapan natin. Na once na nasa paid na. Doon na siya, hindi na mawawala, paid na 'yon. Once na consider siya as bad debts na dahil more than 3 months na siya, di na mawawala, doon na 'yon. That is absorbed. No, like in general Markov chains, there can be a continuous time absorbing Markov chains with an infinite state space. Okay, so that is the R, no? Again, probability of transitioning from transient papunta sa absorb na state. So, let's compute for the value of R. For our value of R, that is equivalent to AD minus BC. So, ano yung value ng AD and BC? AD, 0.8 and 0.5. So, 0.8 and 0.5 minus BC. What is BC? 0.2 and 0. So, 0.2 and 0. Since this is 0, so wala na yan. Cancelled out na yan. 0.5 times 0.8 is actually 0.4. So, ang value ng R natin is 0.4. Let's have it here. Okay, now, since we are about to inverse na po ito, no, ang magiging formula for this, no, dito natin nilalagay yung mga mismong value, pero ang magiging formula for this cell will be D over R. For this cell will be this one, negative C over R. For this cell, P over R. I hope you guys still remember your advanced mathematics matrix na topic. And for this one, we have A over R. Okay, so let's compute for the value of this. No, compute the inverse of the difference between matrix I and matrix B. So, simulan natin dito sa D over R. What is the value of D natin? Dito sabi niya is 0.5 and R natin is 0.4. So, 0.5 divided by 0.4 is 1.25. Lagay natin dito 1.25. So, on our fundamental matrix, this is 1.25. Next, negative B over R. So, this is negative pala, no? Correct me, no? Correct natin dito. Hindi ko nalagyan. Ayan, negative. So, negative B over R. So, negative, what is B? Value of B. That is 0.2. No? Negative value of our B is... Okay, it seems like we have typographical error here. No, 0.2. Ang value ng B natin, check nga natin. Balik natin ito. Ayun, no? Negative 0.2. So, therefore, dapat ito is negative 0.2 rin. Anyway, if computed, no, 0.4 pa rin dahil makakancel ito. So, okay ang value ng R natin. Check natin dito sa ating table. Dapat ito is negative 0.2. Okay, so, let's proceed na. Negative B over R. So, negative sign, ilagay natin dyan. And yung B, again, is negative 0.2. 0.2, ayan. Over R. What is the value of our R? That is 0.4. So, negative times negative will be positive ito. So, 2 over 0.4. Let's have it here. 0.2 over 0.4. Answer is 0.5. No, okay. So, let's write here 0.5. So, 0.5. Ayan. 0.5 value ng ating negative B over R. Let's write it sa ating fundamental matrix. Here, 0.5. Ayun. Okay. So, next naman natin is to find for the value of negative C over R. Now, for our value dito, negative, ang value ng C is 0. Negative 0, walang ganun. No, over 0.4. So, this will be 0. So, let's write it here, 0. So, A over R na. Ating next value ng A is 0.8 over R, which is 0.4. So, 0.8 divide 0.4 is 2. So, let's have it here, 2. Ayan. So, okay na po tayo. We have now our fundamental matrix from the inverse matrix. No, ang last naman po natin is the solution table na. So, for the solution table, this is now the table going to our absorbing state table, yung ating final na solution. So, dito sa solution table, no, compute the product of the fundamental matrix and matrix A. No, nasaan po yung fundamental matrix and the matrix A. Para mas madali tayo, I have created here the final absorbing state table, ganito po ang itsura. Makita natin yung mga pagbabago, no, yung mga differences. Okay, now, ang sabi, no, kung babalikan natin, compute the product of the fundamental matrix and matrix A. So, since nandito na rin naman sa ating absorbing state na table, ang fundamental matrix and matrix A, no, naka-pattern naman dyan, better na isulat muna natin dito yung values nila. Okay, so for fundamental matrix, ang final po dyan is this 1, no, yung naka-inverse. So, 1.25, 0.50, and 2. So, let's write it here, 1.25, 0.50, and 2. So, 0.50 and 2. That is the value of our fundamental matrix. Okay, now, for the matrix A, wala siya dito sa fundamental matrix natin, but rather, makikita po siya, no, dito sa ating partitioned matrix. Ayan, no, nakalagay, letter A. No, this is the matrix A. So, meaning to say, our value for matrix A are this group of numbers naman. 0.6, 0, 0.4, and 0.1. So, let's copy this sa ating matrix A. So, 0.6, 0, 0.4, and 0.1. And now, we can now easily compute for the product of the fundamental matrix and matrix A, or the FA, which is, for the formula, no, sum product ng row 1 of matrix F, nasaan po yun? Ito, no, row 1 of matrix F, and column 1 of matrix A. Nasaan ang column 1 of matrix A? Ito. So, meaning, magsasum product tayo, 1.25 times 0.6 plus 0.5 times 0.4. So, let's write it here. No, 1.25 times 0.6 plus 0.5 times 0.4. So, compute natin, 1.25 times 0.6 plus 0.5 times 0.4, and this is equivalent to 0.95. So, lagay natin 0.95. Saan natin siya ilalagay? Itong 0.95 na yan sa absorbing state, dito na po. No, 0.95. That is for the first sum product pa lang. Next naman, sum product of the row 1 of matrix F. Nasaan po yun? Ito, row 1. And column 2 of matrix A. Ito naman, column 2. So, meaning to say that will be 1.25 times 0 plus 0.5 times 0.1. So, let's have it here. 1.25 times 0 plus 0.5 times 0.1. Again, 0.1. Ayan. Since, guys, this is 0, so wala na yung value. Ang naiwan na lang is 0.5 times 0.1. This is equivalent to 0.05. So, lagay po natin 0.05. Saan siya ilalagay? Dito sa absorbing state. Dito po siya sa taas. Okay? Now, next tayo, sum product of row 2 of matrix F. Nasaan po yung row 2? Ito na. And the column 1 of matrix A. Ito, column 1. Meaning to say, our sum product is 0 times 0.6 plus 2 times 0.4. So, 0 times 0.6 plus 2 times 0.4. Ayan. No? Ayan ang ating mga values ngayon. So, let's compute now for the values. Since ito ay may 0, no, magiging wala na po yan. Kahit hindi pala i-compute dahil 2 and 0.4 na lang ang may iwan. And 2 times 0.4 is 0.8. Ayan, lagay natin dito ang answer natin, which is 0.8 or 0.80. Okay, so for the last one natin, sum product of row 2 of matrix F. Nasaan po yun? Ito pa rin. Row 2 of matrix F and column 2 of matrix A. Column 2 of matrix A is ito. Okay, therefore, ang ating sum product will be 0 times 0 plus 2 times 0.1. Okay, so 0 times 0 plus 2 times 0.1. So, wala na yan dahil 0. 2 times 0.1 will be 0.2. So, ilalagay natin yung 0.2 na yan dito po, or 0.20. And as you can see, 0.25 plus 0.05, this is equivalent to 1. 0.80 or 0.8 plus 0.2 or 0.20, this is also equivalent to 1. So, we are finished with the upper part of the absorbing state na table natin. Okay, so next po natin is the compute the final status of the less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months overdue. Ano kaya yung magiging status nun? Kasi we know na absorbed na yung paid and yung bad debt, no? So, ang wala pa tayo is yung pwedeng mangyari with the less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months overdue, which is the product of initial amount matrix and matrix FA. No, ayun siya. Now, anong gagawin natin dito sa ating first part na ito, itong part na yan? Paid, ito yung formula po. Paid equals some product, para malaman yung value ng paid, no? Some product of the initial amount row. Nasaan ang initial amount row? Ito. Kaso, wala pa tayong laman. No, ano ngayon yung content nitong initial amount row na yan? Initial amount daw for less than 1 month and doon sa 1 to 3 months. So, balikan natin ang ating first na table. No, yung pinakauna. Balikan natin. Ito po siya. No, initial amount. This is transition matrix. No, ito. Initial amounts are 400 and 200. Therefore, we will copy these two values doon sa ating absorbing state na table. No, dahil gagamitin po sila for the computation ng final status natin. So, let's have here 400 and this is 0, no? Not 6. 400 and 200 initial amount. Okay, for the final status, paid tsaka bad debt na. Ito na yung kailangan natin ma-compute ngayon. And sabi nga, di ba, ang formula for paid is the sum product of the initial amount row and the matrix FA column 1. Nasaan po yun? Ito, 400 and 200 and the FA column 1. Ito. Therefore, we will going to have 400 times 0.95 plus 200 times 0.80. So, let's compute it here. 400 times 0.95 plus 200 times 0.80. So, check natin, no? 400 times 0.95 plus 200 times 0.80. Ayan. And the value is 540. So, again, dito, 540. So, next, for the bad debt natin. By the way, isulat natin dun sa ating, 540. Okay. For the bad debt naman, the formula is sum product of the initial amount row and matrix FA column 2 naman. Ito pa rin, 400 and 200, multiply dito naman po. So, that will be 400 times 0.5 and 200 times 0.2. So, lagay natin dito, 400 times 0.05 plus 200 times 0.2 equals 60. Ayan. So, ilagay natin yan dito sa ating bad debt. Final status, which is 60. Okay? So, next nating na kailangan i-solve now is to compute, of course, for the total amount of paid and bad accounts. No, ang formula po is paid equals paid in January. How much yung paid in January? No, nasaan yung paid in January? This is more likely, makita po ito sa initial na table natin. Paid in January is 300. So, lagay natin doon. No, that is 300 plus paid status of less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months overdue, which is, as far as I can remember, ito na po yung 540 natin na na-compute natin before, no? Ito, sum product, initial amount row, matrix FA, nanggaling din naman yan doon sa ating sa ating less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months na overdue. So 300 plus 540, this is equivalent to $840. This is the total amount of amount paid in the long run. No, sa mahabang panahon, ito na yung magiging amount na paid, 840. Okay, so for the BAD naman, ang ating formula dyan is BAD in January. How much po yun? Let's go back sa ating initial na table, which is, ayun, 100. No? So, lagay natin dito, 100 sa BAD. So, 100 plus BAD status of less than 1 month and 1 to 3 months overdue, which is 60. Okay? So, 100 plus 60 is equivalent to $160. This is now the total amount of bad debt in the long run. So, 160. As you can see, guys, 840 and 160 is still, ang total niya is still 1,000, which is, ayun pa rin yung nandito sa ating initial na W1000. Dahil nga sabi nga natin, with the Markov chain or Markov analysis, pwedeng silang magpalipat-lipat pero walang matadagdag and walang mababawas. 1,000 pa rin. Anyway, our amount of paid in the long run is $840 and amount of the bad debts or the bad accounts for the long run is $160, and that is using the absorbing state model of the Markov theory. Okay, I hope you learned something from this presentation, and I'm looking forward sa sana na-appreciate ninyo yung value ng OR, yung value ng mga topics natin, and by this time somehow you master na yung mga computations and algos na binibigay ko sa inyo with operations research. So that's it for the Markov theory. That is the last model na meron tayo. Again, model number 3, absorbing state model. Thank you for being with me on this presentation, guys. Keep safe always. See you on our next presentation. Goodbye, and again, thank you.